We examine how the French Wars of Religion led to the St. Bartholomew Day Massacre. After the massacre at Vassy, the Prince of Condé put an order for protection around all Protestants in France and began seizing all major cities in their name. The new Duke of Guise Henri created the Catholic League to take back every town and also encouraged Catholic citizens to fight back. This was modeled after his father's orders in Toulouse in 1562 when 3,000 Protestants were killed in the riots. Tensions increased when it was learned that his father, the Duke of Guise, had been shot to death on the orders of Coligny. France was bordering on internal chaos, and Queen Elizabeth had just secured the port of Le Havre from the Huguenot leaders. Catherine called for a truce so the sides could come together in the Treaty of Amboise, which ended up granting Protestants the right to worship. Catholic lawmakers were upset. Later that year, Charles IX turned 13 and officially became King of France. He still relied on his mom's counsel, which was to keep the peace and make concessions to the Protestants. However, the violence continued to spread on both sides, and at one point the Protestants tried to capture the king. Peace was again made in 1568 and 1570, each time with Protestant concessions, and each time with Catholic anger. The Habsburgs were starting to suspect that Charles wasn't with them, and they began to plot a war against France. Charles and Catherine decided to bring the sides together by marrying Princess Margaret to Prince Henry of Navarre, the Protestant. The wedding was to be a setup for death to prevent a war with the Habsburgs. Historians are unclear, but at some point within the years of concessions to the Protestants, Catherine had turned against them. Perhaps out of fear of a war against the Habsburgs, or anger at English meddling in France, or even the Protestant attempt to kidnap her son. What is clear is she plotted with the Catholic nobles to use the wedding as a trap to eliminate the Huguenot leaders forever. The plan began on August 18th when the marriage took place, bringing a royal bond between the Catholics and the Protestants. Huguenots flooded into Paris to celebrate the arrangement. In the midst of the celebrations and the mysterious death of Henry's mom, they attempted to assassinate Coligny, leading to Huguenot anger. Catherine and the nobles convinced Charles that this was proof that the Huguenots would never be satisfied, and they must be eliminated while they were gathered for the celebration. Charles agreed, an enemies list was drawn up, and assassins were dispatched. On August 24th, the bells of Saint-Germain rang early in the morning to signal the beginning of the attack. The killers entered the room that Coligny was staying at near the Louvre while recovering from his assassination attempt. They stabbed him twice, then threw him out the window where the Duke of Guise was waiting to cut off his head. His body was thrown in the Seine, and it's believed his head was sent to the Pope. Once word spread, Catholic mobs began to form all over Paris and spread out and kill every Protestant they could get their hands on. It's estimated that 3,000 Protestants were killed in Paris that day. King Charles ordered an end to the violence after 24 hours, but by then it was too late. It had spread into the country and surrounding cities. By October of that year, 70,000 French Protestants were dead, and a new phase of the religious wars had opened.